What's up, guys? Ronin, man. All right, so we climbed Mount Washington. You guys can see the footage here. And Mount Washington is the highest peak on the East Coast of North America. And it is a very good hike. It's climb. It's kind of a hike until you get to Tuckerman Ravine, and then it becomes a climb. Yeah, and it's not rock climbing, but it's very fatiguing and it's tiring. And what makes it even harder is when you get to the top, there's a road that goes up from the backside, and so it's tempting to take a car down because you can be lazy. And we went up and we went down, and I did the first half in about 3 hours and 5 minutes. I did the second half in about 3 hours, and which is fast. And basically, I was moving like a monkey. Like I was just like using all four limbs. I was just going up, just constantly going up. And it's steep, right? So it's hard. So as you go up, you use muscles that you don't usually use, like big muscles. All your leg muscles and your back muscles and your shoulder, everything is working. And you're also using your coordination. So the stakes are really high because people die up here and it snows up there even in summer. And so when you're going, as you're going, especially the last third, one slip definitely could mean a broken leg for sure, and easily death because you go by several very steep cliffs. I mean, they're cliffs, right? You fall off and you're dead. So there's that kind of thing. And I don't want to exaggerate it. Any real rock climbers will look at that and say, yeah, that's a good challenge. It's not Mount Everest, but it's a good challenge. And if you haven't had a good challenge in a while, you'll be tired, right? And I was tired. And so I went up fast. I came down fast. And when I got done, there was a peace I felt that I haven't felt in a while. And it was the peace of brute force exerted or something. Like completion of difficult, physical task, physical labor, large muscles hurting. My tendons were on fire the next day, and that night, and the next day we climbed another mountain, but it was relatively easy. But I was dying, and it just got me thinking that there is something very important about exerting your physical body as a man. There is something different than on an exercise bike. There's something different than walking. It's different than yoga. It's different than golf. It's different than rock climbing. Rock climbing is relatively easy because you're using small muscles. You're balancing and using your mind, using your intelligence to choose handholds. And you have little muscles, your fingertips and stuff. But that's very different than the type of exertion I'm talking about, the type of energy I'm talking about. It's more of a brute force. It's more of a beast type of feeling. It's more of a... I think of those Scottish guys who throw the big logs, There's something to that. There's something to that type of exertion that I think is very, very important. And I know there's a lot of guys on here, and everybody has different lives, right? And different issues you're working on. And I can say this, that there's certain things in life that kind of fix everything, or they have a good effect on everything, like a good night's sleep. There's nothing about a good night's sleep that has anything to do with taxes. But if you have tax problems, a good night's sleep helps you a lot, because the next day you get up and you're like, your mind is at ease. You feel good, and you endorphins or whatever, and you can solve that problem. Like maybe, when you're studying something, you can't figure something out, you go to sleep, you wake up, it just comes to you, right? There's certain magic in life. And I think one of the magics is this exertion for a man. So I don't really know anybody else who's talked about this, so I can't really give it a solid label. But I've known ever since I was a kid that when I get, like, especially when I was younger, like 13, 14, I had so much energy. I just needed to go outside and do hard things. Like whatever it was. Like, we played soccer hard, but even soccer hard is not the same type of energy as climbing Mount Washington. There's something about it. It's like step after huge step where you're just, every muscle is just your whole thigh and your ass and your back and then your shoulders and just like all lifting. And that's fine for one step, but it's another step and then another step. And you're climbing vertical feet. And I think the added benefit of Mount Washington is the combination of the athleticism that you need to go rock to rock to rock. I think that also is good for you. Kind of like playing golf. It's that same thing in a man's mind. But I'm talking about the exertion now. And I think that if you find yourself in a difficult place, try being a beast at something, And I that's why I don't like swimming is good, but it's not that same physical heavy exertion that, that's why I like squats. I like squats, deadlifts, lifting logs, digging. Oh, digging is a good one. If you try to dig, like, let's say, a 6-foot hole, let's say 20 feet across, that's exertion I'm talking about. You're just like, bam, 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 using your ankles, your legs, your back, your shoulders, and you're putting your back into every swing, And another time I broke a sidewalk with a sledgehammer, and I felt so peaceful afterwards. I just felt so peaceful. I just felt like I just did something very important for myself. And I guess I was just talking here with Chime Time and Joel, and Chime Time was saying that's because, or one aspect could be that as we've evolved, we made things easier. So, as we started to farm, and we didn't need to do all that exertion because your intellect can come up with systems that will make the water, come down the mountain, or, the canal will come straight to your crops. And you don't need to carry that big, 20-gallon bucket, 15-gallon bucket down the mountain like you used to have to do, right? And pull it out of the well, and dig the well. And so life has, I think, slowly but surely taken away all of these type of things that I'm talking about. And this is why I do my once a week workout. It's because I feel like this is some kind of just brute beast, water buffalo type of thing. I don't know if you know water buffaloes, but some large beast like a hippopotamus. The hippopotamus is like that. He just exerts, and he's quite powerful. Hippopotamus is a formidable competitor for other animals. It's like there's something just very rewarding. Not rewarding, no. It's almost like, I would say, if you find yourself having a life where you're not doing anything hard, you're going to find yourself having all kinds of problems. They used to say that, 3 women drinking tea is what was it? Evil, and idle mind, idle hands, or do the devil's work, or the devil's handwork, whatever. And back then, non-idle hands meant something like I'm talking about: digging a well, taming a horse, carrying logs, cutting down trees, carrying, bringing a tree down a river, up a river, things that are very difficult. And the other thing I thought of earlier was like pushing a car up a hill, by yourself, where if you slip, it's going to hit you, where there's that sense that it's almost like danger. It's like you're doing a very extremely challenging physical task that is very important. Like, squats are like that. If you screw up in a squat, I one time had the weights slide off the end, and when I had a lot of weight on my squat, and I ended up it was very dangerous actually. But I think that this type of physical exertion is not, I don't know, it depends on your strength and everything. But I really encourage you, if you're sitting at a keyboard, if you're living like an office life, or even if you just feel yourself having a lot of problems, and not finding peace, find a way, an exercise, something that you can do that will somehow tap into this deep need for this visceral, powerful exertion that I think transforms you. I don't think you have to do it all the time, and it's not like a macho thing. You're not challenging anybody. There's no contest. You're just exerting for the sake of exertion. You might be accomplishing something, but you very well could not be. So it's not about success or goals or competition or anything like that. It's like, I think of it when I was younger. I thought of it as getting the evil spirits out. Like I had so much energy, and I had nowhere to put it. And when I did like heavy stuff for a long time, I would just get home and I just felt like more like a man. I just felt peaceful. I felt confident, and I just didn't feel any need to do anything stupid. You don't even want to, like, if you do this kind of thing right, you almost want to just drink water. Like you almost don't want to even drink anything else, like any sweet drink or anything. Like you just feel positive for that moment. You don't want to put any negative in your body, and you just feel very peaceful. And I think men today, I think this is something that I think I'm putting this idea out there. And the idea is something like, I feel like I'm fishing, I'm catching. I got a big fish on the line here, and I don't quite know what it is yet. It's like I'm pulling it up. It's like some kind of whale or something. So whatever concept I'm trying to describe here, if you get it and you're, put it in the comment box and like take the idea further. Like, what am I trying to describe? What is this need for that man has, that we have to do this? And when have you experienced this? And are you doing it now? Like, and any advice or ideas that you have, very, very welcome, because I'm really serious about this. Like no one does this. Everybody's doing such easy things now. It's like I was running up that mountain almost, and I was just, even the people climbing the mountain to me were not doing it. Like I was doing it faster. I did almost an hour and a half faster than everybody else. And it was something about that extra hour and a half. Like that's a long time, beating people an hour and a half up a mountain. I was like really putting it out there, and it just felt just great. I got to the top. I just felt so good. I just felt so peaceful and great. And it was I think I think also that there's a physical aspect. I think there's the tendons in your body and the muscles in your back, and these not just a chemical thing, but physically, I think you need this. Even if you do what I'm talking about, even if you get overweight, you have the building blocks to go back. Whereas if you're just like Pillsbury Doughboy all the way through, it's very difficult to go and to make anything from that. You want to have this core. So it's not about being perfect, but it's not even about how you look. It's just like, it's something about what you're building. So especially if you're young, I urge you to take this to heart and like really find a way that you can really exert the full strength of your body, whatever it is, using your largest muscles, really in a hard way. Not just one rep, like in a way that totally satiates you and pieces you out. And once you find that peace, it's different than a runner's high. It's different than a yoga high. It's a different thing. It's like, I always imagine the tendons in my body just getting stronger. And I think you become much stronger when you do these things. And I know for sure, like, yeah, I think this gives you, I won't say superhuman, but it gives you a big strength when people jump on your back, or when something happens, or when you crash your motorcycle or whatever. There's some kind of a core. It's not in your core, like in your core of your body. It's in the core of your being, right? It's all the tendons and the things that hold your body together. There's something there. There's something. You're not stressing one little part. You're stressing all of it at once, and it's all having to strengthen every single little, whatever joint between the bones and everything. So I'll try to think of things that can take this farther. I can say this is a key, one of my key beliefs. So it's not just another episode. Like, this is something important. And it does, like I say, it's nothing to do with success. It's nothing to do with competition. And it's nothing to do with even proving anything or anything like that. It's just physical exhaustion of large muscles is very spiritual for a man. And it will save you from becoming a man that is embarrassing, I think. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I want to say we're going to have New York Summit is coming up, so we should definitely talk about that. So what thoughts do we have here? It's going to be August 7th.
August 7th weekend.
8th and 9th in Brooklyn, and it's going to be freaking awesome. And let me pass you to Chime Time here.
Hey, it's Chime Time. Basically, we got the New York Summit going on in a little bit more than a week. We got one more weekend before, and then we are going to start on we usually run these things Thursday through Friday, and Thursday through Saturday. How many days do we run summits?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So
but come early.
Come early. We invite people to come on Thursday. So that means that we are gonna have people start coming over on the 6th, coming into my apartment, pretty much.
Tell them it's a decent size.
It's a decent size. Specifically, we could fit 7 very comfortably. We have a lot of people who are staying off-site, so that live locally, so we should have plenty of room. So as many people as could come, we'd definitely encourage it. Come on the 6th. We're going to be rocking on the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We got, locally to me, we have Sunset Park that we're going to meet in Bush Terminal Park. We got, endless taco places. We got we have 3 supermarkets within walking distance. One of them is a Japanese market, so it's gonna be very similar to the Thailand summits. They got a cafeteria. Indoor seating is not really doable. It's coronavirus, but there's a lot of outdoor seating in that place, so we got tons and tons of options. And we're gonna probably walk along the water. Great filming opportunities, for the channel. So you see a lot of that in the background playing, when we put our recordings over it. And we'll probably make our way into Manhattan Island as well. We'll probably jump on a train or hop in a car and just jump over the river. It's going to be super scenic. But yeah, plenty of outdoor talking opportunities. And we were even bouncing around the idea of having some scheduled conference times. Typically we don't do this, but because being the nature that the East Coast of the United States is very particular about schedules and very particular about their feelings towards coronavirus, and they've done a very good job mitigating it, we might have some scheduled outdoor sessions that we can let everybody know. We're going to have a group chat, and we're going to circulate those times as we figure it out. Whether it's ahead of time or on kind of just plan to be in the area, we'll get to the bottom of it and get you in there.
I'll go right back. So basically, if you're comfortable hanging out with everybody, that's all good. You can come stay at the house, and then if you want to be off site and just come to the meetings, we will have the meetings in a place that's going to be comfortable. So.
And outdoors.
Everybody can be. We are definitely accommodating. So depending on how people feel about it, it's not one size fits all. We're definitely open to whatever your situation is, because some people have to rush in, rush out. They don't want to self quarantine and all that. So that's basically whatever flavor you're at, it's gonna fit.
Yeah, and that's almost pretty much if for anything else that I had to say, really. Maybe we were contemplating reaching out to some other channels that are in the area that Reverend 20 Piece recommended in his review of the Ozark Summit. So that's my responsibility to reach out to those people. and that's really all that I got planned for Ozark Summit. Do you have a
New York Summit?
Oh yeah, New York Summit. New York. I'm sorry, we just came from Ozark Summit like a month ago. These summits are getting so close together. But what I'll say is that Ozark Summit was really special in that we had a lot of fireworks and just a lot of grilling. Each summit is very unique. New York Summit you're really going to get like a feel for not just New York City, New York, like Manhattan, where we're going to do that too, but you're going to get a feel for Brooklyn, like the real New York experience, not this, fake Hollywood, Sex and the City kind of depiction of New York like you see in Hollywood. You're going to see the real deal. And even despite the way things are going right now with any concerns that you might have, like political and or like viral or whatever, I was just in New York City. It's really coming back to normal. Like they've removed cars from parking spaces and moved outdoor seating. Like the city's really coming back to life. It's not too much of a concern. Like we're not really going out at night anyway. We got a big comfortable place. It's air conditioned. We'll cook, have food, whatever, just like we do at other summits, but it's going to be like that New York flavor. Like it's going to be in a city. So be prepared for that. Get excited. I'm really amped.
All right. So like besides just the topics, but you really reminded me of how awesome New York City is how it is with societal memes, right? And New York City's always been one of the most, respected, awesome places in the world, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, New York sucks. California is the same. California is like the Golden State, right? And the next minute, like the meme is that it's just all needles and drug addicts, right? So there's always these memes going on. So New York right now, everybody's like, oh, everybody's moving out of New York, coronavirus. I would say that my experience has been that doing the opposite of the crowd as far as traveling is always a good idea. So going to New York right now, fantastic idea, in my opinion, because no one's going. When you go to New York City, usually it's very expensive. It's difficult. There's a lot of issues. New York is a very expensive place. I've been there about 5 times. And right now is epic. And I'll just say, I grew up on the West Coast, right? And in the Midwest. We always heard about New York City. New York City. It was always this thing, right? And I had never been. And I didn't go until, before 9/11 I went. And then I went right 1 week after 9/11. And I felt like as an American, I feel like I wasn't complete until I saw New York City. It is like a big part of movies. It's a big part of folklore. It's a big part of songs. It's a big part of a lot of things. And if you've never been to New York, or if you haven't been much, because New York's so expensive, you usually don't spend much time. We're talking about some serious time here, like 5 days hanging around with the boys, doing cool things. And we're going to be cooking, so it won't be expensive. If you're new, it's $400 to attend, but that's it. Basically, you'll be buying your own food, cooking. We won't be going, it's not going to be $30 bagels in the morning. Because I've been on my friends, hanging at my friend's house, and we go to breakfast. I bought him breakfast, 2 bagels, 2 coffees. I think it was $56. I paid. And I was like, because my friend, he was setting me up, right? And I was like, this sucks. So that's New York. A lot of times is like that. So I can tell you, we are not going to be doing that. We are going to be having a good time. It's going to be the boys. We're going to be cooking at home, Walmart, whatever the hell we can do. We'll have cars. So we'll get, the big box stores. We can get the cheap chicken, whatever, frozen chicken. So we'll be eating good, but we'll be eating cheap. And then we're going to be out and seeing the real New York, up the stairwells, walking. I say real quick, one thing really impressed me with the Ozark Summit was the guys were like, hey, come on out. Someone grabbed me. And I went outside, and then everybody was laying in the grass and looking at the stars, like I talk about in my videos. And no guys ever do that. And that was so cool. And I laid there, and I was like, it's so cool to be around guys who know me, and they like the same things I like. we didn't have to sit up. We didn't have to, sit there and talk about politics. We could just look up at the stars and we were talking about stuff. It was real heavy and deep, right? Not part of the summit, but it was part of the summit, right? So I think seeing New York from that perspective is incredibly unique. And now during coronavirus, when no one's going there, that right there is gold. There's not going to be super crowded. There's not going to be 18 buses of Chinese tourists, with diesel fumes going in our faces, right? We're going to be able to see the streets. We'll be able to take pictures. We'll be having fun, and we'll be joking around in like hardcore old school New York, which is, to me, that's just fucking awesome. That right there is a good reason to come. I mean, summit aside, topics aside, New York City is a fantastic city.
Yeah, that and where we're staying is the Chime Time Suite, and it's set up for people to stay over. Like I'm constantly having intellectuals coming into town and doing their business, and we just have a lot of fun, and they love it. Number one, because it's a cool place to stay and it's affordable. This is a really good opportunity because of the summit, but I know all the inside spots. And even if we do go out to eat, like I know where all the affordable food is. And I don't want to advertise this too much about my area, but the food is a lot more affordable than the rest of New York City.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that is why I moved to this area, because it's so awesome. Gentrification stuff is like really frowned upon. It's like a hard topic in New York City, but I was born in New York. I was born in Brooklyn. I was born in Brookdale Hospital. Like I'm a Brooklyn original. Super rare. So like I could shit on everybody. Like you come hang out with me and we'll shit on them together.
He's joking. But yeah, no, that sounds great, man. It sounds great. And by the way, I'm losing my voice because I've been on tour for almost 2 months now. So almost 2 months. Survived a brown recluse spider bite, poison ivy, inflamed tendons. What?
Spider bite plus poison ivy.
Poison ivy, yeah.
The poison ivy went into the spider bite.
Poison ivy went into the spider bite. And plus I was almost paralyzed back in January with my back. So I've been like, it's been a really, to me, these are all small things, they're all small things. Fuck it. Life is full of these things, and we get over them one at a time. And we've had a bunch of challenges, and I got to say it's been epic. And even tonight was so nice. It's so nice to be here. Like Boston is a wonderful city, and we're going to be here for another week. So you're going to see some good footage. And Michael's here. If anybody else is in Boston, give us a shout, because we might go hiking or something. We're definitely going to do some stuff. Probably, yeah, we're going to do some stuff here. So if you are around the area, and then we could head up together to the summit too. So if you're here, meet up in person, and then we can head up there. That's a possibility too.
Got room in the car?
We got room in the car. Yeah, if you want to jump in the car and come straight from here up there, that's a very real possibility. Yeah, depending obviously on how many guys. But all right, guys. Well, I hope that's been useful, and thanks for listening.